Boom chickadee chanka, how's it going everybody? It's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United with another cheeky little video for you today. Hope you're all having a good Thursday. Thanks for stopping by on the live chat. I can see there's a bunch of legends in here. Mark Singlen, The Saint, iPoddy, JP, everybody else, thank you very much for stopping by. So it's plastered all over the, I was going to say reputable sporting media then, but let's just say the sporting media today, that Lionel Messi has had a big riff with sporting director Eric Abidal over at Barcelona. Of course, we know him from his playing days. Overcame cancer, I believe, and he's the sporting director there at Barcelona now. And he's had a big public spat with Lionel Messi, and Messi maybe has thrown his toys out the pram a little bit here, or he's not happy with the leadership and how the club is run at the top down there, in particular Eric Abidal. So there's a little bit of speculation going around today that maybe Lionel Messi would be looking to move on from Barcelona come the end of the season. Now, I know what you're thinking. Has the pig been smoking crack? What's up with the pig? Why are we talking about this? Well, I mean, you know, in all reality, I don't see him coming to Manchester United. I'll just say that right now. United could maybe try and sign him, you know, if it's to be believed that he could leave on a free transfer at the end of the season and pay him an absolute whack load of money. But the fact of the matter is, if he is going to leave Barcelona, which in my opinion he should, because he's 32 years of age, he's achieved absolutely everything that is possible to achieve in football over there at Barcelona and been that one club man, literally from a little kid, and he's got this amazing relationship with Barcelona, and he's literally become one of the most, if not the most legendary players of all time, certainly the most legendary Barcelona player of all time. So he's done tremendous things there, but will he want to leave? Will he want to challenge himself in a different league? The argument has always been over the years with Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo goes to different places, does it in different teams, does it internationally. Well, if Messi wants to prove himself, if he wants to come over to a different league, one of the top leagues in the world, and do it on another level, he's got his opportunity right now and right here. Because Pep Guardiola's at City. This is a man who worked with Lionel Messi for years, 4 years, while Pep Guardiola was at City. A very successful period for both of them. The most successful period for both of them that they've had in a 4-year spell. Messi, I believe, won 4 Ballon d'Ors under Pep Guardiola in the 4 years. They also won 2 Champions Leagues and a few La Ligas. It was a very successful period of time for them both. They obviously had a good working relationship together. To me, that still is probably the best team that I have seen in my lifetime, in terms of just how relentless they were and how effective they were, and how they just basically had everybody beat before they even got out on the pitch. You know, with your Xavis and your Iniestas and your Messis. Unreal team. Guardiola sort of revolutionised modern football with that Barcelona side, the way that they play the football, and it was just an absolute joy to behold. Could that relationship be rekindled over at Manchester City? Well, look, in terms of transfer, let's just say, for argument's sake, that Lionel Messi does want to leave Barcelona because he's wanting a new challenge. He's not happy with the current regime. Whatever it may be, maybe they'll sack off Eric Abidal and it won't be a concern. Messi's such a massive player that might actually happen. But with Messi, like, could he go over to Man City and rekindle his relationship with Pep? Play there. They could afford him because obviously he's on a ridiculous amount of money a week, but City can afford him. They've got absolute money bags over there. In terms of a commercial deal, it's just about the biggest signing you could possibly make in world football. So there'll be certain benefits and windfalls that come from a signing like Lionel Messi. Plus, it's being reported anyway, and take this how you will, that there's some sort of a clause in Lionel Messi's contract which stipulates that he can leave at the end of this transfer window if he so wishes. At the end of the season, if he so wishes, for free, which I find just unreal. To be fair, that can't actually be the case. You know, if he's contracted, I don't really know what the situation is there. But he is earning about 50 million euros a year. So he could lose out on the 50 million euros a year. But the fact is, if another club was to come in, it wouldn't be that ridiculous to pay Lionel Messi, I don't know, £1 million a week. Or, you know, you can imagine that might actually happen because of the commercial windfalls you'll get from him, how massive of a player he is, how quality of a player he is, you know, and the fact that he's such a big name. You'd have to pay him a lot of money to want to come and play for your side, whoever you are. City can maybe afford it. You're not having to pay for transfer fees, if that is the case, and then maybe you get yourself one of the best players in the world, the best player in the world, if you like. It's a little bit farcical, it's a little bit out there, but look, if there was ever a time for it to happen, I suppose it will be now, because Messi coming to that twilight period of his career now, he could probably still play at the top level for another 5 years, really, if he wants to. He's always been that stalwart at Barcelona, coming through from a kid. They pay for his medical bills, and he's obviously one of their legend. So I think, but if he wants to challenge himself and try and cement himself as the very best player of all time, then coming over and doing it in the Premier League is a great option. And look, with City's side, you know what you're getting? You're getting a similar sort of style to what he likes. You're getting a team full of stars, absolute quality players. You're getting Pep Guardiola, who he's worked with, from a City point of view, what a statement that would be. Like, they are getting absolutely trounced by Liverpool this year. Liverpool have gone 2 steps ahead of them for sure. And City have petered out a little bit this season compared to how amazing they've been over the last few seasons. Pep Guardiola, could he do with that injection? Will he be here beyond the end of the season? It all depends on how he does between now and then. But Lionel Messi, Pep Guardiola reuniting at Manchester City, if ever there was a time to make it happen, I think now would be the time. Could United maybe put in a cheeky little offer and try and get Lionel Messi to come to United? We are one of the biggest clubs in the world. I mean, even if we had Champions League football, I don't think that could realistically happen when all the other hosts of top clubs in the world would be willing to pay massive, mega money. Because even though, like, it sounded ridiculous when I said paying £1 million a week to a player, you're not just paying £1 million a week to a player. It's Lionel Messi. He's a match winner, but also he's this massive global brand and entity, and you're just going to benefit massively financially from actually having Lionel Messi at the club. I mean, maybe not enough to completely offset that sort of an investment, but certainly enough to warrant spending that sort of money on a top player if he's adding the value out there on the pitch as well. I mean, come on. If Lionel Messi became available and United were able to sign him, how many of you lads and lasses out there would actually want to see him play for United? I mean, I know I would. I'd rather Ronaldo, even though he's older, because he played for us previously and I just love the guy. But look, Messi, I've always sort of disliked the guy. I've always thought he's a bit of a little beady-eyed, I don't know, he's got a little bit of an attitude problem. Not his biggest fan. Maybe that's harsh. But I don't know why, just something not quite right with that guy. Something off about that guy. Wouldn't be surprised if it turned out it was like a Kevin Spacey situation. Maybe that's harsh. No, I'm joking. Anyway, Lionel Messi, could he leave Barcelona? The fact is, he loves Barca. He wants to stay at Barca for his whole career. That's what he said previously in the past. But these things happen, and maybe he's had a change of hearts. Maybe he does want to perhaps challenge himself at a high level in a different league and see exactly what he can do. And going into City side makes the most sense for him, in my mind, because of the style, the manager, and all that good stuff. So honestly, if I'm Lionel Messi now, look, I've achieved everything at Barca. You can't do any more than that. Why doesn't he challenge himself? That's the thing. To me, Ronaldo will always go down as better. Now, some people may disagree. Messi's got another Ballon d'Or. He's obviously won more La Ligas. He's won incredible amounts of things over at Barcelona throughout the years, multiple Champions Leagues. But the fact is, Ronaldo's won a few Champions Leagues at Real Madrid. He won one at United. He's doing well still at Juventus. He has played for multiple teams and done it in different leagues and internationally performed on the highest level, or certainly, within our continent, winning the European Championships with Portugal. Even if he was injured in the final, it was still an amazing run, and he was a massive part of that victory. And that's something that Lionel Messi can't quite say. Whether it be the old South American Cup, or whether it be the Copa America, or whether it be the World Cup or anything, he's always just fallen that little bit short. So for me, if I'm Messi, this is a great opportunity to prove myself as a true freaking legend. And I think it's more difficult to go and play for different teams under different managers with different styles in different leagues with different footballing cultures than it is just to stay at the best team in Spain, who always up there challenging every single year, who are bankrolled by the freaking government, or certainly are able to sign massive, huge name players for big money. And it's not really that difficult to win La Liga, I don't think. I mean, there's only ever a few teams that actually win it. In my lifetime, I can think of like 3 or 4 teams that have actually won it. Valencia, Barcelona, Real Madrid, maybe Atletico Madrid have won it. I'm struggling to think of the other ones that could have possibly gone on and won that freaking league. I know there's like your Sevillas and your Real Sociedads, and they're all just a bit bang average, aren't they, really? You know, so it's not the best league, it's not the strongest league. Lionel Messi doing it over there, that don't impress me much, fella. Come and do it over in the Premier League, that's what I'd like to see. Challenge yourself. Set yourself a target of, I don't know, trying to come over here and score 25 goals. There's no way, I'm telling you this right now. Now, you can call me a fool, maybe it would happen if you look at some of City's strike rates and goals that they scored over the years, but there's no way, I don't think Messi would replicate that sort of goal-scoring form playing for Manchester City, even with the same sort of style and those quality players that they've got around them. I don't think you can replicate that amount of goals in the Premier League, which is exactly why you see like Ronaldo, when he played for United, he didn't get the 58 goals or whatever it was that they got over in La Liga. Maybe he was a less developed player, but it's a different league, it's a more competitive league, it's a more physical league, you get a little bit less time on the ball, and I think that, you know, we would see the true fibre of his fabric if Lionel Messi came over to the Premier League just for a couple of seasons. I think that'd be freaking awesome, lads and lasses. I'd love to see that. What a signing that would be just for the Premier League. Forget about whatever team he ends up for. If the Premier League, if a team in the Premier League had somehow signed Lionel Messi, that would be absolutely huge news. Hey, yo, I just want to say thank you to everybody that's tuning in tonight on the live stream. I just wanted to get a video out to you guys, and obviously there was some speculation going on and a bit of news. There are some other topics to discuss as well, a bit of a Manchester United News Now type daily video here. So trying to get more content out, more daily content. Appreciate all you who are tuning in right now. Please do us a favour if you are stopping by in the live chat right now and watching this stream. Please do chuck a cheeky little like on the video. You can also give it a share on social media if you're that way inclined. But yeah, thanks so much for being here tonight. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on the possible situation. I mean, I do feel like a bit of a dickhead even talking about it, to be fair. But I think the City link, look, I think that's kind of realistic. I think United, there's not really much we could do apart from pay him £1 billion a week to come and get him to play for us. And maybe that's just not the right thing for United to do right now. It's not the sort of thing I don't think the Glazers would do right now. But for City, with what they can spend, and maybe if they could offload a couple of players to sort of offset that financial spend, because obviously FFP rules and all this stuff, maybe they're the sort of club at this moment in time that could deal with that sort of transfer. And you've got Pep there. All those reasons make it, slightly possible that something like that could happen. And I don't really like to talk about just sheer speculation. But it's a bit of a slow news week, isn't it? So if I get just something to make a video about, there you go, lads and lasses. I thought I'd jump on here, have a chat with you guys, see what you guys think, and if it is possible at all, let me know your thoughts and opinions on it. Right, okay, let's get into your comment section then. Oh, actually, before I do that, let me just read some quotes and stuff that I did want to read out, actually, just to sort of give this basis a little bit of truth. So, Barcelona president, I think he's calling a meeting with Eric Abidal. So, basically what's happened is Eric Abidal was kind of critical of the players in the media and said that he doesn't think the players out there are working hard enough, and Messi didn't like that, and he sort of shared his post on social media and basically said that that he doesn't think that the club's run very well at the top there, and a lot of the decisions are being made that are incorrect, and he just doesn't, he thinks the players have not been good enough, but he also thinks basically Eric Abidal's a bit of a mug. That's basically the long and short of it, to not read the quotes out fully. I think it's, that's basically a good summary of it. So Messi thinks Eric Abidal's a complete mug. Eric Abidal thinks the players are lazy. And there you go. I mean, this is actually Messi's quote. He says, "I honestly do not like to do this kind of thing, but I think everyone has to be responsible for their job and take responsibility for their decisions," Messi said on Instagram. "Players, for what happens on the field, we're also the first to acknowledge when we don't play well." That's not always true. He then goes on to say, "Those in charge of sporting direction," aka Eric Abidal, the sporting director. He didn't name him, but he basically named him. He said that those in charge of sporting direction should also face up to their responsibilities and above all take charge of their own decisions. Lastly, I think that when we talk about players, you should give names, because otherwise you are tainting everyone's name and feeding rumours that spread and are not true. So he obviously doesn't think that he's been letting the side down at all, and that is probably the case. I mean, I haven't watched much La Liga this season. But Eric Abidal has said that a lot of the players are lazy. Messi took umbrage to that, made a public statement. He's obviously not the happiest of bunnies that he is right now. And actually, There's the club legend Lobo Carrasco told Spanish TV this week that Messi, basically when he spoke to him, he seems like for the first time ever, he might just have one foot out the door. Which, take that with a pinch of salt, whatever you want. I mean, who really gives a shit what Lobo Carrasco says? But there you go, this is some sort of basis for all of these. If you go on any news outlets right now, you'll see that Messi has had this row with Abidal. There's talk about him maybe looking for a move away. There's talk about maybe a possibility of a free transfer, which to me sounds ridiculous that he could leave on a free transfer. He's on 50 million a year. Another club would have to come in and pay at least that, more than that really, because you're not having to pay a transfer fee to get one of the world's best players. So if that is the case, it actually becomes a realistic proposition for a lot of sides. Like, Barcelona wouldn't want to sell an asset like Lionel Messi for anything less than, I don't know, a couple of $100 million. You're talking a lot of money, even though he's 32, because of the brand of the name and actually how good of a player he is. So they wouldn't want to lose out on a player for anything less than that. And a prospective team who would be looking to sign him wouldn't really be able to afford any sort of a fee like that with the wages on top. They've developed him, they've got him at Barca, they pay him, he's still the world's best player as far as I'm aware, or certainly one of them. So they've got him, but for another team to actually sign him off Barcelona, it just wouldn't really be financially feasible unless it was for free. Unless it was a free, and you can sign him, and this is what's being reported. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments section. Okay, so, let's get into it then. Let's get into your thoughts and opinions, see what you guys think about it. Michael Collins comments, all I have is an iPhone at the moment. Otherwise, that's nothing to do with this. But thank you very much, Michael Collins. I should probably proofread the comments before I read them out. We just have a nice conversation with people in the chat there. That's absolutely spot on, to be fair. The Saint comments, Ronaldo is gash. Well, the Saint, seeing as you're a Sheffield United fan, we'll put that, the reason for your comment there down to that. Because Ronaldo is certainly not gash, my friend. And by the way, Sheffield United in the past, I'm pretty sure at one point they had the opportunity to sign Diego Maradona for like 120k or something back in the day, or some other mug for like 80k, and they ended up signing the mug for 80k. That's the rumour anyway. Just wanted to let you know there. I'm sure you know about that anyway. Yeah, I'm just trolling too. Okay, so Adam Bleach comments, imagine benching Messi for Lingard. Crikey, that could actually, well, it probably couldn't happen. Look, if I'm Lionel Messi, even if United have Champions League football, the only reason I'm coming to play for Manchester United instead of Manchester City right now in the Premier League would be for money. And I don't think United are going to invest that much in a player at this moment in time. I think we're looking for a different approach, build slowly, do it the right way, kind of like Liverpool have over the years now. I know we just spent a bunch on Bruno Fernandes, and we did spend a lot in the summer, but we've got to stop spending on these big names and getting them on huge wages and completely distorting the wage structure at the club, because it has ill effects. We've seen that, players like Herrera getting disheartened and leaving because mugs at the club are on more money than he is, etc. It's not right, you can't justify it. So United needs to go about it the right way, build gradually, sign the right sort of players. Look, Lionel Messi is a fantastic player, but it's probably not the right thing that United are looking for right now. As ridiculous as that is to say, because there's an element of risk involved there for United. Like, he could come in there, he couldn't have much, he's a great player, but he's got great players around him at Barca. It's that league that he knows and loves. He knows all the sides, he knows the tempo, he knows absolutely everything. It's probably not the best signing for United right now, is what I'm saying. City, on the other hand, I think they can make that work. I think Pep Guardiola would want him. I think they'd have a great working relationship together, as they did previously in the past, in Lionel Messi's most successful period as a player, winning 4 Ballon d'Ors in 4 years under Pep. So you've got to take that into consideration. Like, if he wants to better himself, if he wants to be happy at a club, if he wants to be, a true legend and go and prove himself on a different stage, maybe going to Manchester City would actually make a lot of sense for him right now. Michael Collins says, I have serious doubts Messi could do it on a rainy night in Stoke. Yeah, I'm with you, actually. I mean, I certainly don't think that they'd be able to replicate Ronaldo or Messi. If you look at their La Liga strike rates, I know they're getting older and stuff now anyway, so they're probably petering off a bit. But if you look at their La Liga strike rates, there's no way they're replicating that in the Premier League. It's just far too beyond pretty much anybody. 34 goals, I think, is the most that's been scored in the Premier League, and maybe that was by Ronaldo. I think maybe Shearer got there when there was more games in the Premier League back then. Maybe Andy Cole did as well, but I think that was when there was more fixtures. So there's not that many players that have scored over 30 goals, whereas they were doing it consistently in La Liga. It just goes to show you that La Liga is probably not quite as strong as the Premier League overall competitively. You know, like you said, a cold, rainy night in Stoke, you certainly wouldn't want to be Lionel Messi playing there. Sure, you could still perform, but there's a lot of factors, there's a lot of differences. Physical, the weather, the cold, the temperature. These are all factors you have to take into consideration. Now, one thing I will say is any time that we have seen Lionel Messi come up against English opposition in the Champions League, whatever game it may be, he's always done pretty freaking awesome, to be fair. Okay, it took him a while to get one in against Chelsea or whatnot, but he's always done the business against United whenever I've seen him play against us. He is a quality player, very dangerous, always influential. The best player of his generation for sure, along with Cristiano Ronaldo. Now, I can't separate them. They're different players. You know, it's a debate for a different day, this one. Me personally, you know, what could be the most ideal situation that I'd love to see starting next season? This is it, lads and lasses. United have just signed Bruno Fernandes. We add another Portuguese legend in there. I don't know. Let's just say, you know, we try and sign Ruben Neves. Well, when I say legend, I'm just using that loosely. Obviously, he's not a legend. That's reserved for people like Ronaldo. But if you get a little bit of a Portuguese element in there, maybe, just maybe, United could somehow lure Cristiano Ronaldo back to United. That's my ultimate dream. And then you've got Pep Guardiola, the baldy over there at City, only gone and signed Lionel Messi. Guess what? You've got Pep, you've got Jose in the league, you've got Ronaldo, you've got Messi. Oh my days, wouldn't that just make the Premier League the best league in the world for sure? I already think it is, but that's all it would take. Just those two players coming in, all the eyes would be on the league. It makes a lot of sense, not just for City or United or whatever team might be interested in those players, but for the Premier League from the financial point of view. I mean, I think a lot of people follow the careers of Messi and Ronaldo, and certainly there's so many people that are Real Madrid fans globally because of Ronaldo at Real Madrid. There's certainly a lot of people that are Manchester United fans globally because of Ronaldo while he was at United. They fell in love with the player. He's an epic legend of the club, you know? And I think that's certainly the case. You know, you can make the same case for whatever I was talking about. My brain's gone a little bit flat there, lads and lasses. Mark Sin, how you doing? Great to see you in here, my friend. Great quiz yesterday. He says, take Jose back. Crikey, Jose Mourinho at Manchester United again. I don't know if we could go through that one all over again. I know Chelsea did. Look, he has gone back to clubs in the past, but I don't know about that one. But yeah, I mean, Jose, get the manager in there, the Portuguese connection. I see what you're saying there, Mark. I do like it. Gungshi, how you doing, Gungus? Comments, come on, Ed, make it happen. I mean, that would be sensational. What a story that would be this summer if United could get Cristiano Ronaldo back at the club. Or Messi, but, you know, I don't see that one happening. That's what I'd like to see. I'd love to see next season all those managers in the league. I'd love to see Ronaldo. I'd love to see Messi in there. That's the ultimate scenario for me. And if you look at what Ronaldo's doing at Juventus, he's still a top quality player. He'd still be a top quality player for United. You know, he scored double the amount of goals of any of our players would do in even this struggling United side. I truly believe that. I think he's just got great natural finishing, great movement, desire. You know, I don't need to tell you about Ronaldo. You know what a fantastic player he is. So we could definitely benefit with him even at his age for a couple of seasons. I've long dreamed since I was, how long ago was it Ronaldo left? Quite a while ago now that he left Manchester United. It seemed like it was a bit of a flash in the pan, wasn't it? Like 6 years or something? I don't know. How long was he at this football club? Not long enough, that's for sure. So if you could get him back and pay that sort of, whatever it would be, Juventus got him for a good price, makes a lot of sense financially, commercially, shirt sales, brand deals, all that good stuff. It just massively raises the profile of the club. Like, who is watching Juventus a couple of seasons ago? Fair enough, you might be, but I wasn't. Now, I definitely look at a lot of highlights, especially when Ronaldo's on the score sheet. That's just the interest that I have in the man. Alex Rincon, sorry mate, he says, Pig, you missed my super chat. I apologise, my friend, it's on a different screen here. Let me go over to it here. Nice one, Alex the Rinconator. Thank you very much for getting here. Hope you're good. He says, cheers, Pig. Can't wait for football to be back. Also, today is the 62nd anniversary of the Munich air disaster. I know, I posted it on social media earlier as well. I saw your post too, Alex. It is obviously a very sad day in United's history. The fact that, playing in a away game in Munich and the plane crashed. And I remember hearing the harrowing story of Bobby Charlton telling his his account of the situation and how he woke up and he was basically ripped from the plane. He was in the plane seats, which were just out, sat in the snow somewhere, like something out of Lost or a movie. And he awakes to find, bodies strewn. Can you imagine? It's literally, and the terror on his face as he is talking about it to this. This wasn't that long ago either. The effect that it had on him and everybody around him, and just all United fans, certainly back then. And just the nation. I think the nation wept and the nation mourned for United and the loss of those young lives. You're talking about very young players, obviously some of them spring to mind, like Duncan Edwards, who died a couple of days later from his injuries, who at the time, a very young man, I think he was 20 or 19, even 2019, very young player, was considered to be one of the best players in the league already at that time, could have gone on to be one of the all-time greats. Even Bobby Charlton himself has said that if he'd have lived, he'd have captained England in the 66 World Cup. So that's the sort of esteem that they held him in. Not just him, all the other players and people and staff and people that died in that event in 1958. It is obviously a very sad day. So I did put a little note in the comment section. I wanted to talk about it. I wanted to just address it and just talk about it for a moment because, it's a very sad day in United's history, but it's a great football club. You've got to remember those that have played for the club and those that have passed, be it from, natural causes or whatever. But certainly when there's a disaster like that, which touches a city and that causes all sorts of ripples throughout football, I think you have to remember it every single year because these people actually gave their lives for this football club. They may have not been fighting on the front line in a war or whatever, but by serving Manchester United in their pursuit of happiness, in their pursuit of wanting to play football, they actually did give up their lives. So, I think that we've got to mention that for a moment. Thank you very much, Alex Rincon, for getting in there with that. I started to tear up a little bit there, so I better move on because it does just, it is quite an emotional thing when you start talking about it. You do think of, what if it was your loved ones? What if it was happened to this United side? I always think that for some reason, because United have this history of, that happening in our past. I do just think, God, imagine if that happened today. We weren't alive. Some of you may be watching in the live chat might actually have been alive when that happened. Probably not that many of you, but certainly from our generation, if you imagine if something like that happened today, where the entire Manchester United side, or certainly the majority of the United side, was wiped out in a horrific disaster like that, it would just be horrendous. And look, things like this happen. Accidents do happen. Transportation is one of the biggest causes of human death every single year around the world. And that will continue to be the case. We've seen it the other day with Kobe Bryant. We saw it with Emiliano Sala last year. It happens to the Leicester City boss, and for it to happen to a team, it is even more disastrous, obviously. It happened to that Brazilian, was it Chapecoense? Chapecoense, who United obviously reached out to. United have some sort of almost a kinship with them because that has happened in our club's history too. So there you go. Nice one, Alex. Thank you very much for getting in here with that, my friend. Sam Ingram comments, Dear Flying Pig, have you ever watched a Manchester United movie called Beyond the Promised Land? I'm not sure if I have, my friend, I'm going to have to check that one out. I'm not sure I have. My favourite sort of United-related movie has got to be Looking for Eric. If you've not seen Looking for Eric and you're a United fan, then hang your head in shame, because it's actually a genuinely good film as well. Just as a sort of drama, it's very good. Eric Cantona is in it, in a supporting sort of lead role. If that supporting lead, that makes no sense, but you know what I mean, as supporting the lead in a sort of, it's kind of a lead role. It's a great film. You should definitely check it out if you've never seen it. That's probably my favourite United related film. Gung, she comments, my mum told me about the Busby Babes when I was a wee nipper in the 60s and 70s. Absolutely, yeah, my dad used to tell me about them all the time. Big Duncan Edwards, he's like in English football folklore, Alex Rincon, you've not seen Looking for Eric? Oh my days, son, you've got to watch it. Whatever you're doing tonight, son, clear your schedule, watch it, because if you're a United fan, it's a great watch, that's what I'm saying. It's a bit gritty, but it's got Eric Cantona in throughout, and snippets back to footage of United, but it's an actual dramatic film. It's freaking awesome, my friend. DT Westy comments, it's crap. Well, in fact, you're wrong, my friend. In fact, it's actually bloody awesome. And it's actually a really good film, so check it out. The Saint comments, unrelated, but damn, United is great. Yeah, obviously that's Leeds about Leeds United. It's about Brian Clough and his short tenureship at Leeds United, which was damned, which was doomed. And Michael Sheen, the actor who plays him, gives a very, very good account of Brian Clough. I've always been a sort of big fan of Brian Clough just as a football manager. He was obviously a massive character. He's obviously a very good football manager. He's able, along with Peter Taylor, his assistant, which he took to various clubs, take clubs like Derby and Notts Forest, to very heady heights, and just do it with provincial towns, basically provincial sides, small towns, and he definitely won the European Cup twice on the trot with Nottingham Forest. So that is the sort of manager you're talking about here, and it's about him and his job where he took over from Don Revie at Leeds United in whatever bloody year it was, I don't even know, late 50s, 60s, and Don Revie got the England job, and so Brian Clough took over the job, and then it was like, 57 days or however many days, something like that he lasted in the job as one of the nation's best managers ever to lose his job. That's a very good film. Good shout. Check it out. Yeah, Richard James is Looking for Eric is a top film. Yeah, I love it. And shout out to the guy who plays the main guy in that, along with Eric Cantona, because he does a stand-up job, whoever that guy is. Michael Connor says Phil Jones is pretty much Superman without the kryptonite allergy. You guys just love Phil Jones, don't you, for sure. Mark Sin says best football movie has to be Shaolin Soccer. Oh my days, luckily I've never seen that, but I can't imagine that to be true, Mark Sin. But maybe I'll take your word for it. But right, okay, good topic here. We'll stick around for a few more minutes. What's your favourite football film? So mine probably, and I watched it a lot as a kid, was Escape to Victory with Pele and, Bobby Moore and Sylvester Stallone and Michael Caine. That is kind of a classic. If you've not seen that one as well, you've got to see that one. Pele's overhead kick against the Germans at the end. It's freaking epic. Spoiler alert. But anyway, yeah, check it out. I do love a bit of Escape to Victory. I tell you what was good as well. Goal, even though it was about a Mexican guy signing for Newcastle United. Of all the places, it was actually a really good film. Now, the other ones, the second one was sort of palatable. The third one was an absolute steaming turn. Don't even bother. But Goal was a decent film, to be fair. Gunga says Escape to Victory was great. That is a freaking absolutely great film. Bend It Like Beckham says DT Westy. Yeah, I never really was that into that much, to be fair, back then. I always thought it's just a little bit of a chick flick, my friend. But I'm starting to understand why maybe you don't like Looking for Eric, if you really like Bend It Like Beckham. So fair play to you. Nice one. The Music Fiend says, I quit smoking crack. Now I'm smoking something stronger. Phil Jones. Fair play. DT says Mean Machine. Yeah, Mean Machine, that is a good one, actually, to be fair. Vinnie Jones Goes to Prison. It's basically a remake of The Longest Yard, if you've seen that American film. David Gregory says best footy film, that one with Jason Statham as the monk. So bad it's good. That's the one we're talking about there, Mean Machine. Yeah, Sam Ingrid says, Dear Flying Pig, Eric Cantona was recently in a Liam Gallagher music video. By the way, Liam Gallagher bossing it with that song. I don't really like the guy. I used to love Oasis, of course. I think if you grew up in the 90s in England, you've got to have listened to a heck of a lot of Oasis in your lifetime. But, for the last few years, I haven't really seen too much from Liam Gallagher. But Liam Gallagher has come out with that song the other day, Once, I think it's called. And it is freaking awesome. It's a great song. And also Eric Cantona in the video prancing around a sort of country estate wearing a king's crown and a robe. I mean, what more could you want? What more could you want? Hey, Matt Rush, thank you so much, Matt Rush, for getting in here with your super chat here, my friend. You bloody legend. He's commented and said, some nice words, Pig. Busby Babes, rest in peace. Glazers out. And do you know what I'd like to just add at the end before we end this video, Matt Rush, and thank you to everybody that's tuning in. That's a great sentiment you just left us with there. But what I would like to add is, look, this football club is a great football club. It's come back from some serious adversity back in the past. You're talking about stadiums being bombed during wars. You're talking about plane crashes where the whole team pretty much is killed by the accident. You're talking about the club building itself back up with a goalkeeper and one outfield player as a whippersnapper and a couple of youth players, from after that incident with the manager who survived the crash, to return and to almost, 10 years to the day later to claim the 1968, the European Cup trophy. I mean, that is just an epic comeback story in itself. Your whole team is wiped out a decade before, and you managed to get back to that penultimate level of football again in a decade. I mean, that goes to show you what a great football club United is. So, look, think about the Glazers, think about how low we are right now, think about how long it's taken Liverpool to get back to where they are. I think it's not going to take United that long. I think we are a great football club. The fans of this football club, the tradition of this football club, they're second to none. Okay, the owners, they're really a toxic element, and they don't run this club properly, and they do take a lot out of it. And it's not right. But I think that this great football club, it will rise like a phoenix from the ashes once again. Just like we did back in the day, just like we did when Sir Alex Ferguson came in, and we had faith and we believed for a few years, and it turned around. Just have faith we will get back up there, lads and lasses, because this is a special football club. Just wanted to say that at the end here. Peter Affleck comments, "We will never die, tell Woodward." Good one, my kind sir. That sounded a little bit freaking old school Middle English, didn't it? Good one, my kind sir. Do you know what I mean? Could you pass me the Fummit cupboard Kirpin, squire? Anyway, we've gone down a strange avenue. Thank you very much for everybody who's getting in here. Do chuck us a like on this video. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Obviously, it's a bit of a slow week this week with no United stuff going on. We are not playing Chelsea until the 17th of February now. There will be a watch along for that. But what I'm trying to do on the channel is just get as much content out as possible. When there's some stuff to talk about for United, I want to try and get on it and talk about it. So do us a favour. You can help us by supporting the channel by liking these videos, coming back after this live chat is finished and after this video is finished, and getting some comments in and your thoughts and opinions in the comment section. Also, subscribe to the channel if you happen to be new to the channel, where we talk about all things football, all things United. I was almost going to do a watch along tonight for the Spanish League games, but then I realised it wasn't on Sky, so that was a bit shit, and I just can't be asked, like, finding streams and it being in a crazy language and all this stuff. So, so that was a possibility, but anything like that, that's random. I just want to do a bit of scouting for Messi, because obviously he's going to sign for Manchester United. Obviously! Nice one. Yeah, Gunga's comments, "Get another Pig in the Hen show, Pig." Yeah, absolutely. I have messaged Henry today, seeing if he's maybe around tomorrow. No promises, he hasn't got back to me yet. Maybe he will be, maybe he won't. Sort of sounded like Baz Luhrmann there. But either way, hopefully we'll get a couple of shows out before the next Pig in the Hen show. So the next one's on Wednesday. The next guaranteed Pig in the Hen show is on Wednesday. But there could well be a bonus Pig in the Hen tomorrow or the next day or some point around then. So keep your eyes peeled. Have a look for those. I just want to read a couple more comments out from a few legends that are getting in here at the end and do a few shout-outs quickly. So, Jack Lee, shout-out to you, my friend. Thank you very much for getting in here. Yasser Wahid, bloody legend. AJ Wilson, thank you very much for getting in here too. JP, of course, an absolute bloody channel legend. Sam Ingram, Gungshi. Who else is there in here? G Wolf, Illy United, Matt Rush, of course. I've said JP. And all the rest of you, thanks for stopping by and watching these videos. Appreciate you getting in here on a random Thursday night and having your say. But yeah, come back in a few minutes' time. Let me know what you think about the realistic possibility of Lionel Messi signing for United. I just had to laugh out loud when I said that there, and also a little bit of vomit filled my mouth. But anyway, could it happen? I think what's more realistic is maybe he could sign for Man City and be reunited with Pep Guardiola and play in that system and challenge himself in a new league. Come on, Lionel, stop being a little safe melter all the time. Come over to the Premier League, have a little bit of a couple of years challenge, see what you can do. See how you stack up and how you weigh up to the very best players in the league, because we've only been seeing it over there in La Liga in what is effectively a siesta league where half the teams go to sleep after time. So I don't really want to, I don't even want to have him in the conversation of the greatest players ever, because he's only done it in one league. He's not done it for Argentina. Controversial? I think so. Have I triggered you? Good. Get in the comment section after this video and let me know your thoughts and opinions on anything we've discussed in this video. Right, okay, I'm going to leave it there. Shout out to all the usual legends that I've already shouted out, but also to Adfelling Skills, Captain Clun, at the end here too, getting in here, a couple of unfamiliar names. Well, Adfelling Skills is very familiar, but Captain Clun, who are you, my friend? What's the nature of the Clun? Anyway, We'll leave it there. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for stopping by on the channel. Keep a look out for upcoming content. When there's any sort of breaking United news, I'll be doing some videos for that. There'll be a Fire in My Room rap video preview diss track coming for the Chelsea game at some point before that game. There's also going to be couple more pig in the hens and stuff like that, and I'll think of some other stuff too. So I'm trying to fill this couple of week international, not international, winter break with a bit of content on the channel, because usually we go sort of radio silent at these times. So I'm just trying to get some more content out there, because I do appreciate all of you legends that get in here and like watching these videos and like interacting with each other and myself as well. It's bloody awesome. So keep it up. Thanks for stopping by. I'll leave it there, but have a great evening. Stay classy. I'll see you very, very soon. You've been watching The Pig on Flying Pig United. Take it easy and come on, United. Yo, there we are. Thank you very much for tuning in here. The Music Fiend reckons Jones is better than Messi. I don't know about that one, my friend. Hey, shout out to all the legends who support the channel on Patreon, by the way. This is the end rolling credits where all the freaking legends who support the channel on Patreon appear, and also any tier 2 channel members like Gungers and Red Devil United 77. Thank you to everybody that does support this channel and helps us make a little bit more content. Hopefully we can start making more content in the future and growing this channel a little bit more. But just want to say thank you, especially to every one of you who's tuning in right now. To the live listeners right now who've stuck around to the end of this video. You're a bunch of freaking heroes. Right, I'll see you soon. Take it easy. Pig out.